Hi. So, past couple days, I've been recovering from two disasters. We're close to disasters. One was, as far as I could tell, something I had done, which I don't quite remember, but there were a number of packages that didn't have all the parts installed with them, which is something I probably could have prevented. I think I switched. I started with the GCC2 and did a reinstall, and I really don't know exactly what happened, but I noticed it at one point with one of the what was it? It's one of the archivers. Damn it. Oh, BSDTAR. That's what it was. Is that what it was? I noticed that I was trying to install a package that relied on BSDTAR, and it was registered as installed, but the BSDTAR binary was in the binary directory, um, so I copied it over, and turns out that a lot of my first builds, I guess I realized that GCC2 and 4 weren't compiling the same way, and I decided just to go with GCC4. And I think I did a reinstall and or some kind of copy. I don't know how I would have copied anything in because I don't think I had network access. I've never gotten a USB stick to work in this, or even a double mounted hard drive, so I'm not sure how I did it. But nonetheless, there were not a not a very big list. I ran what prompted this. I'll get into what prompted this, but basically there were about 10 packages that were registered as installed but really weren't installed. Maybe 20. Amongst it was Perl 5 gettext, and it didn't have anything to do with the way things doing things. It was because I'd moved over to another. I think I reinstalled the system over the hybrid, and I don't know. I actually, I just don't know what the hell I did. It may have been that I compiled the binary. Yeah, this may be it. I may have compiled the binaries in GCC2, FTP'd them up somewhere, then FTP'd them down, and then did a package add, and for whatever reason, it didn't install the binaries because they weren't really compatible. But what prompted this was very strange. I noticed earlier I hadn't done a run through the shells category, and I thought, oh, let's do that. I was, I'm kind of, the point that I'm at right now is that there are a few major dependencies that I haven't built yet, and they won't just build on their own. SDL, Mesa, to name a few, okay? And the Mesa libraries. I know they'll build in Haiku. I just know they're not doing it package source by default, and I'm trying to get a handle on how many packages I actually have built, and get them into categories and organized, and have a list, compare it, and stuff like that. And so I'm kind of happy to let those not build for now because I don't want it to get just to be a mess where I don't know what I have anymore. And now I'm putting all my packages in one place. Because I last count I did, I was at 25, around 2590, close to 2600. So then the next, I'll just pick a small one, do shells, and, well, another one, I think the editors were going, and I actually had already done a run through the editors, so I didn't get anything else out of that, and some other category. I think it was databases. Yeah, it definitely was databases. And the databases hadn't finished, so I left this just run overnight. I was going to come in and see what I had. came in and the whole system was just black, unresponsive. And this has happened before. It's happened a lot. And not quite, not enough to say, oh, screw it, it's not that bad, but every once in a while it'll happen. And it's not because the disk is full either. So, just turn it off. It's in VirtualBox. Power it off. Power it back on. It recovers. Does very well. It's a good file system. And then I started to rebuild the databases, and I figured the shells were probably done. It was the darndest thing. I let this run in the background. I was doing some other things. I come back, and I go to look at my packages, and I noticed one didn't have the markings of a zip file like these things over here. It had the look of a text file, but it had the same name. What? What's that all about? So I don't know if I kept the. Okay, so I just kept the package list. So I didn't keep the actual packages. So I double clicked on it, and it's a portion of an email from Richard Stallman. It's supposed to be a package. Then I went through I noticed that all the packages that I had built that day, I double clicked on them. The ones from the earlier build attempts look like they were zip files, but you double click on, show the contents, and it would show nothing. And then and then the later ones were just like these scrambled text fragments. I was kind of, what the hell's going on? I still haven't really sorted it out, but I finally narrowed down that things just kind of. By the way, right now I'm just about fully recovered. I mean, everything I don't have crossed off here are the ones I'm going to rebuild. So it's, I'll make it, but it costs a couple days. And now all my directories aren't nice and clean, so I'm a little bit heavier on the disk space than I want to, but I'm not at 50% of 50 gigs. I'm at like 75% of 50 gigs, so I'll be okay. So I'm just like, okay. Then I remembered, I looked and I saw the first package that had this weirdness was one of these shell packages. In fact, it was, and there's a couple other things to talk about, just general things. Because I'm here to report back, but I'm not here to claim I'm an expert, and I think I need to do that more. Just say what I observe. Because I'd like to be able to draw conclusions, but I don't have to. But it was right up where that, I'm even getting that, I got a bunch of scribbles everywhere, but basically, I think this static TCSH was the one that brought the whole thing down. I skipped doing the first one, the ASTKSH, because that would just cause a kernel panic. And when I was watching some of these shells try to compile, it would try to do a memory test or something like that, and it would just freeze. And darndest thing. Don't know. That's all I really know. I guess so here, this is the package database list from package source, but it does. This is not the way it's supposed to be. In fact, I'll start with the way it's supposed to be. So it's in DB. It's under package. And one way to tell if things are going right or not going right is you can do a package_admin space rebuild. And this is what happened was I realized that all these packages here. Let's just give you an example. So here's this Pi 27 accelerator, right? you look at it, build information, it's got English in there, stuff that looks computerese or something, right? If I go into here, at first I don't know what this user group thing is. There's the build info. It says, oh, we don't know what to do with that valid argument or something like that. If I try to force this to open with, I guess I got to try to force it with PE. It thinks it's an octet or something. This is in the package list. It looks like a binary to me or something. Right? Maybe part of the executable. How did it get in the package list? Beyond me. I don't know, but so I realized that I had all the packages that were built from. The times are gone now, but in a 3 to 4 hour span, I actually couldn't uninstall them. Package delete. You would try to read, because what controls the installation and the uninstallation of these packages are the contents of these files. It says what it relies on, what packages depend on it, etc., etc. And it's just got gibberish in there. So it's registered as installed because there's a folder there with the right name in the directory, but nothing else. So the only thing you do in that situation is just identify the folders where you know that the package lists are scrambled, remove them from the database directory, put them somewhere else, or delete them, or whatever, and then do a package admin rebuild. I did a package admin rebuild, and I got just about a lot of messages about how it says, when I look at the package database, it says that this program is installed. But when I go look at the file system to see if the file is actually there, it isn't. Basically is what it was saying. And so that's how I figured out that my earliest installs that I've since redone, all the binaries should be there. They are there now because the same messages didn't come up. Told me there's a bunch of stuff missing, and amongst that was, let's see, expat and ncurses. So that was fun. So there were at least over 300 packages that I had to package delete all the way down to the lowest level dependency, and I rebuilt almost all of them except for the ones that are not crossed out. And, well, I reinstalled the A-spelled language packs and the text packs, and I'm probably missing a few texts and a few A-spell. No, I'm not missing any A-spell, actually. I checked that. Whatever. I mean, there's so many text packages. It's ridiculous. And they're probably from other categories besides print. I could probably figure out what those were and get back to where I was before. And so, what was wrong with ncurses is that ncurses had none of its files in place, and gettext had none of its files in place. So I figured I better rebuild the things that depend on these things, and I did. And so it didn't seem to make all that much of a difference, though. However, as far as things being able to compile. And I just checked to look at some of the ncurses programs and things like that. And so, word warning, and I'm pretty sure this would be for anybody. Be cautious when you're trying to compile other shells for Haiku. Don't know what's going on exactly. I do know that at least when you're using package source, and it could be package source, it could be anything. So just be cautious. Be ready to deal with whatever comes up. So this AST-KSH, as far as I know, will cause a kernel panic. If I went to do the compile, at least with package source, it would cause a kernel panic. It may cause a kernel panic without package source. And I am fairly certain that the static TCSH really did a number don't know what it did. There was one point I took a look at one of the debug messages, and it said read-only.exe has stopped working. So now I'm not installing these things to the package file system. So yeah, I'm in my own change root here. That okay, so then but the good side effect was upon rebuilding a few of these things, I realized there were a few packages that were different that I hadn't found that needed to be treated differently than some of the other ones. So I think I probably should try to go over those. I've set aside all the things that I've done either a full backup or I've saved all the files that I've changed for everything that needed something special besides what I do by default. So that way later on when I'm more knowledgeable, perhaps I can go back and study them and come up with some good information. Or just deliver these things to other people where they could do something with it. Which is really what I'm here for. So what I'm here for is to prevent people from having the same problem I had with the shells. Maybe someone, if they're interested, could look into it and figure out what happened. Who knows? But at least the information's out there. It's better than not being out there at all. So, what was I going to do? Yeah, okay, so the packages that were different that I hadn't gone over are, or I may have, but I've forgotten. Now, the first one is a graphical, it's a real library, and Package Source has it in the graphics section, so I'm not joking when I say, I'll call it libcaca. How about that? And on this one were a lot of my builds. I mean, a vast majority of my builds that are successful, of course, obviously. It kind of works in reverse. Since I've done this, since I have a default set of settings, the only things that will succeed are the things that will happen to succeed with the settings that I have. It's kind of like, yeah, okay. So what I'm kind of starting to realize is that other things might build if I change my default settings, or move things around. So one thing I noticed with this library caca, it definitely wants the network library, but for the rest it just wants a vanilla build. So if I do any of these things, I would take me a long time to figure out exactly what I could leave on and leave off. I've just copied the make files. I had it. But by vanilla, I'm saying that I didn't use my own specs, which really that amounts to nothing. To me, it's becoming to the point where it's almost, it can only cause errors, but it doesn't solve anything, so I'm not doing anything different except for the way I path things. I will say, however, I was doing one build, and it might have been either Jove, UPS, or libcaca. One of those three. It was Jove. Now I'll go over Jove. And when Jove looked for headers, it said that the same definition exists in both the BSD header and the POSIX header for one of the headers. Forgot which one it was. So that's the first time I've actually seen a realization, and I don't have the BSD headers in my specs. I had the specs turned off to try to do vanilla build for Jove. Okay. So anyway, but getting back to this. So by default, I say enable to share. Build my stuff to my package source directory. Try the library network. If it works, great. If it doesn't, don't bar from me. Use my specs. there's a math library in there, get rid of it. Don't try to build with it. Don't try to build with an LP thread, a P thread, a socket, or with no error. And then there's a file called makefile with a capital M, and there's an L flags. Throw the library network in there. What the hell? Why not? That's pretty much all I do, and I also throw in another library network just for good measure because I'm working with a shotgun and not a scallop. So, these are my default. So I turn most of these things off for Jove just to see, well, maybe that'll make a difference. It certainly makes a difference. Most of the Python module builds do not like, they can't take C flags, at least the way it's being built in package source. I know exactly how that is? No. So, but maybe Python builds without GCC. You know, that's a GCC flag and whatever. That's the way it is. This is what I'm observing. So, turned everything off, and then let's see, what exactly did I do with that? Because I have this little solved folder. And that's graphics, right? So I basically changed my make.conf to have all these things turned off. Even the ncurses default. I still had this LD flags to check in the library network there. I actually wanted that. So I had the library network turned on, all guns a-blazing, all three of them. Usually only one of the three works, so between the three of them I cover most of them. And it built. Okay, so, but in general, people will want to know that libcaca wants libnetwork. So if you're having trouble building it, that's what it wants. Okay. Then, the archiver UPX also pretty much wanted a vanilla build, but it may even be identical to that one. But it didn't want, I don't think it wanted, yeah, okay, I guess it used library network too. So those two were kind of the same. You know, it doesn't want any of the other build links things, but it wants the library network. So UPX wants library network. Now Jove was a very, very odd creature. And it may be the way it's set up in package source, I don't know. At the end of the day, even though I came to the realization that it wanted live network, but I couldn't get it in there. And where's Joe? That's an editor. So I did a full backup of this. My make.conf for that had me using my specs. And the reason why I use my specs is because of that header conflict between, I'd have to try it again, but I guess I could do it on, why not? I'll just, make a copy of my make.conf. Okay. I'm not going to change, let's see, what do I put in the make file here? I tried to inject ncurses because I realized the errors I was getting looked like they were kind of terminal-ish kind of things. And maybe it just wasn't using ncurses. And I tried to do everything I could to get it to use ncurses with this. But at the end of the day, it really didn't take it. I had to actually manually put it into the make file, which is about, I'm not a config kind of person, but I'm not, and there it is. So there's a variable called termcap lib. I put minus ncurses, L ncurses there, and then it built. Now what I probably could do, I could try if I wanted to spend a little more time on this. I could put in the BSD make file, not the make.conf that controls everything, but the make file just for Jove. I could try to see whether it likes configure underscore args equals termcap info equals minus L ncurses. See if that works. But this was hard enough to get. I almost thought I was going to be able to rebuild this, and I was wondering how I did it. And I really don't remember doing this. Or if I do, it's vague. So let's see, what's my make.conf looking like right now? Just do this. Oh, I might as well just do this on camera. So it's not. It doesn't go by the order in which it's listed at all. Okay, so right now the only thing I have turned off is an LD flag to try to inject live root, which I think is ridiculous. It doesn't. I was just seeing if that would work. And some other things I might do in special situations just to try. But basically, I have the standard make.conf here, and the way I have my thing set up, I've already built Jove. So I could just do a make clean. I won't lose my package. I want to uninstall, and then we could see the message I was talking about. Now, I don't know if it didn't like the specs. It may take me a little while to get to that point where I get to that actual package. But I might as well do that. Welcome to the Haiku shell. Gas is only $1.99 a gallon. Alright, so let's see. Jove is an editor. Go. And CJ. Oh, it should be. No, it wasn't. Okay. Make clean. I've already made a full backup of this, I believe. Yes. Yes? Yes, so I can even recover from making clean if I want. Cleaning for Jove. Okay, so I'll just so you can see I'm actually doing this. Bmake install. So it checks for dependencies. I can find any. If there are any patches, and I don't know if there are any patches, we'll try to patch. And these are patches from other package source users, other all sorts of operating systems galore, the world over. Toolchain wrappers, it basically takes all those options that are wrapped in the make file and checks them in there. Do I have if I have my specs on, what's the point? Yes, that's, yeah. Well, okay, so the first one I'll do is with, no, because it will still fail for other reasons, I think. Yeah, okay, these are the errors I'm getting. And let's see, right now I'm using my own specs. Okay. Let's make clean. I'm going to turn my specs off. These are the C flags. Do is bmake install. I have an alias in my profile for that. I like that. I don't like typing extra letters. I like rolling. Having to type a lot slows you down. Could slow you down. I mean, unless you're a fast typer. Or you just, to each their own, right? Creating toolchain wrappers for Jove. Still throwing the library network in there, and at the end of the day, it did want that. It's doing the same deal, but now it's looking at it should be looking at. Why is it looking at boot home package include? Did I override? Let's see, did I not save this? No, it's not that. Do I override the make file package? Check that out. Surely is not an archiver. Brother, okay. So, I hate it when it closes the thing. I'd like to know something's still going to be there. Okay. Editors, Jove. There's another name for, yeah, see, I probably messed with this. This stuff here, get rid of that. In fact, I'll do, you know what, I'll get the fresh, I'll save it, but I'll get out of there. I'll get the other, editors. God, getting old. I used to know exactly. I used to know what I wanted to do exactly like right at the moment. Now it's like, let's get this. Yeah, contents of this is just they do their own little hacks and whatnot, but basically at the end of the day, it's going to show what's going on. Okay, so copy, paste, and replace. Got a full backup so it doesn't bother me a damned bit. Let's do it again. Make clean. Or clean. Alright, let's do. If it doesn't show it, I'm going to have to bring my vanilla thingamabob over there. Tool chain wrappers and party poppers. Alright, tool chain wrappers, let's go. One thing I did find that kind of speeds things up is if I just go over here and I kill the debug server. Alright, so what are we doing here? Okay, so now we're looking at boot system to develop. Make sure there's no errors. Let me double make sure. Okay, now it's doing the same kind of stuff. Yeah. Alrighty then. Guess I have to get my vanilla make file. Fine. For Jove, where is it? Because if you get it to get past this error, but you don't have it, maybe I shouldn't bother. I don't know. Let's see. My specs, I'm gonna copy over them. I'm gonna turn on. Okay, so off. Sorry. File and copy and paste over because I already got it back up there. Replace. Okay, come on, Joe. I have to make clean. Not again. Alright, let's try it again. Do I have to? Yeah, I do. So this I've got. It's just gonna use the regular everything. I hope. If it doesn't, then just ignore the fact that this happened. You're gonna believe me, I tell you. This bug is closed. We cannot reproduce. This bug is closed. He was messing with his specs file. This bug is closed. Oh well. Same errors. God damn it. Was it UPX or something? love of God. Okay, so what's looking for is and you know what? Okay, let's try the next step of what I did. Next thing I did is I went, this is my backup. Get out of the way, let's go over there. I'm gonna find this if it kills me. I went in here. Try this term cap. Those LN curses. What that does is it causes the errors that we've been having here to go away. And it worked. So, okay. So, it probably wasn't Jove. Maybe it was... Doesn't make any sense. Was it Libcaca? It was either that, or it was Libcaca, or UPX. I'm going to show this, because I'm... Damn it. Alright. Is it Libcaca? Okay, so I got to go back... Okay, so I remember what I did. So it worked. That's the solution, basically. You even though I'm, well, in that case, I'm not really trying to. That's no. See, okay, the reason why that didn't work. The reason why my variables, that I'm injecting in from the mk.conf didn't work. In one case, one of the three tools that I have, it's going to find this thing called makefile. But it's looking for an LD flags variable, not a term cap lib variable. And this, does this not do a configure? All right, so I might actually have a patch. I changed the makefile. Okay, I might actually be able to make a patch for this because I changed the makefile and it doesn't expect. There's no configure. It just has a makefile and that's it. All right. So all right. So that's okay. So I guess that's the answer for Jove. I'm gonna find this thing where it had two references, a variable that was defined in two headers in a different way. I'm gonna find that, and that could be UPX. And UPX, so I gotta remember what I've done with my makefile here. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna restore my original line. I finally found the duplicate thing. What I used to do stupidly was make a copy into some other file, rename it, and copy it back. But see, now that I found the duplicate, which means also it's copy, copy and rename to something else. So anyway. Okay, so let's try, I think it's going to be Libcaca. Did I make a backup of Libcaca? No, I didn't. Why don't I just do that? Come on. There it is. libcaca. So let's copy. Okay, and as far as I can tell, I didn't really do anything to this. I just changed the main make file. So hopefully I won't destroy my own. Go back here. I will duplicate it. And we'll copy over. Not yet. We'll not copy it over yet. Well, wait. What was it looking for? It was looking for L network. So if I turn that off, let's see what it was. Let's see. The last thing I did, I remember before I saw this, the last thing I did was I got rid of library network errors, and then I saw that other thing. It's basically the same one as the one used for almost for Jove. Yeah. So I didn't make a change to anything over there. So what I really want to do is turn off the L network here. I don't think this was it. Wait, undo. See, I didn't use my own I did not use my own specs here, so it could not be libc. It's got to be UPX. It's not UPX, and I don't know what happened. I think it's about time I just get off this subject. Oh, so I have my specs turned off. No. All right, so I didn't find it. Sorry, but there is a conflict. I just don't know where it is. Can't tell you. Time will tell. Time will confirm that. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to. What else is going on? I think that's pretty much everything I have to cover. I mean, basically, UPX and libcaca want L network, and Jove needs the end curses, and watch out if you're using shells. You know, if you're building shells in this thing, I should do that. Bring my system to a halt. Why not? Actually, I'm gonna stop this trash. It's gonna take forever. Now, do I really want to screw my whole system? Do I want the same thing to happen again? I know how to bring the kernel panic. Let's just do that. Okay, CD, I think it's A something. Yeah, that thing. Do. Maybe we can pay attention to what kind of configure test it does when this happens. Oh yeah, I'm going to do Apache. I'm going to go look at Apache because I have a build of Apache. It just built when I was doing the audio section. I did a run through the audio section, and the Apache obviously was some dependency of some audio program that probably didn't build. It probably needs SDL or Mesa. And I noticed something about the package. And I don't know if it's, I'm guessing it could be related to what happens here. Perhaps. Or perhaps not. Yeah, basically during the configure stage here, it does some tests to see if the system has this, that, or the other thing. You know, whatever it does, I guess we'll see it. And we'll want to pay attention to what that test is, I guess, and say, hey, you know, programs will try to compile. What's going on here? Make output captured. Huh? there's something called mmap. What the hell is this? All right, there we go. The application read-only exe is encountered error from containing Haiku terminate. Clean. Okay, so this is what, unless I reboot, I'm in deep shit. Basically, packages are not going to build right. What's it doing? It's probing the C language processor for MAM information, MAM information. And I don't know what MAM is. I don't know what MA make is. It seems as though MA make is a problem. I didn't make clean on this thing. Now, I wonder. Actually, I wonder if my system folder is read-only anymore. I wonder. What if I could make a file? Let's see. Folder. Nope, can't do that. So, okay, that's not what it was. Debug. Save report. All right, so there's some debug thing on. Whoa, what's going on here? Now, earlier it was going straight into kernel panic. I have that on video from an earlier video, but this is like, what's it doing? Doing some. I don't know what mmap is. Do we have another error? It's kind of ugly. I'm gonna make sure I reboot here. Now other compilations were going on at the same time. See, I had another terminal open, and you know what? Oh, here we go. Let's just terminate it. Now what was probing the C language processor for MAM information? So basically, when it tries to probe for the MAM information, MAM, whatever that is, what's an iffy? It causes a crash in the read-only, I guess. Is there a binary called mmap in this thing? I guess you could just do a which mmap, but I'm kind of afraid of doing that. It's a bin. Of course. I'm afraid to use a terminal. Why would I poke around like this? Oh. Okay, I don't. Ugh, it's hard. I don't see a MA mate. What's iffy? And this will just keep going. And it will not result in a successful build, as far as I've seen. Because I don't have a binary. I've never built a binary for this. And I just kind of, well, that's not the one. One of these, it just sits there. I think. Yeah, keep in mind, I've seen so many of these things going, and I know there's something in the compilation. V4 child shares data with parent. No. It's worth using. Come on. just kind of gets slower? I don't know. Oh. It's got a whatever that is. I think I remember something around here. I'm going to keep going back there. Anyway, I just, what does this thing say? Segment violation. What's this? Save the report. I reroute the runtime loader. Beats the heck out of me. Couldn't tell you what SREs was it straight now. Why do we have exe files in here anyway? It's strange. Oh, there's your kernel panic. Looking for a standard mmap interface that works. Now I'm going to talk about mmap. I think it's mmap. Oh yeah, by the way, and if you're ever in this situation, just type exit and get back to where you were. I think that time for me to close the terminal. Probably going to want to reboot. In fact, yes, I do want to reboot. So I don't know. It's predictable that will happen. The question is why. Why this? It's just not close. Let's see if it's close. It's kind of dragging its stuff there. How about this? It doesn't seem like we got a lot of memory use there. What's going on? So what was it? Why is it? I don't know, but at least I should tell us something. Restart? I don't even think restart really works. I think that happened, and then there's something fundamentally different about the system at this stage. I don't know what it is, and it probably was in this state when it was making those broken packages. I'm not running my own build of GCC. I'm using Haiku's. Anyway, so just close this, I guess. So power her off. Start her back on. Where are we? There couldn't be that much of a difference from the GC4 GC2 build. Now, in GC2, I'd noticed that there would be times I'd boot in there, go into the terminal, and the caps lock's on, and it ain't coming off. But that's about it. So there you go. So I was gonna do Apache. So Apache just built. I was asleep. Woke up. There was an Apache build. And I thought, I'd try it, see how it works. And there was, in the beginning, there was a couple. It's not really. You have to disable a few modules to even get to a point where it's going to try to start, and then at that point, there's also another memory issue. So I guess just go to that. And it shows up in the log file. So let's see if I can. All right. So of course not really a course, but I have a change root environment here. And basically the root of the system, and the packages are even designed to fit into any change root. I can install these packages if I wanted to into non-packaged in boot home config, but I have them here, and because so now as far as I know, I'm not using. I don't believe. Let's see. Well, I'm not gonna say that until I look. Okay, so Dyer doesn't have any patches for Apache. This is the stable distribution of package source, so it would. Might as well just look and see if there are any patches there, what they affect. Say, oh, it's package source patches that cause this. But I think I've found something. I think it's significant, but I couldn't tell you how or why. Okay, so they do have a lot of patches. I haven't really examined them or anything like that. But the program, it starts to run, but Apache, but it has. Let me just show you what the error is, and then we'll go to that. So this is the package there is as if it's the root of the whole system. So I'm building my own little Unix thing here. Run. Or is it verilog? God, how did I do that for? Verilog. It's not, is it? Yeah. So here's the error log, and at the end it says this. It basically tries to do something with the memory. This access scoreboard. Okay, I know it says there's a name-based shared memory failure. The file is there, and I've created a user called www, and it has access and permissions to write to that directory and to write to that file. So far as I know. At least around that directory. It could be, 3-4 folders up, it doesn't have permission. That could be the reason, or not. But I'm not convinced it is. So, because it's able to, Apache is able to actually, in the run directory, let me just do that. It's able to write to, let's just do that. Boot package bin sbin. For some reason it puts it there, and this is http d-k start, and it should. Want to reload it? Is that where it is? Or is it up here? There it is. 1120. There's the file it just wrote. That's supposed to be the process ID. Okay, I have, of course, come on, close. I have the log open, and it says, hey, he just wrote you a message. You want to reload? So I'm going to reload it. And it's doing the unable to create, the scoreboard. Now the http.conf file decides I could make that scoreboard try to write to this directory. So we just do that just to eliminate any idea that Apache doesn't have permissions or something like that. So etc. Where's that? There's Apache.conf. Now I had to uncomment the module unique and the module SSL, or what, it doesn't even get that far. And to get it to even make the lock file, you have to do this accept mutex flock. Now the directory for the scoreboard, and it's able to write the error log, right?
scoreboard file. Let's just make sure it's going to the same freaking directory as the other one, just to be sure. Okay, well, guess additions are kind of cramping my style now. Let's see, Alt-C. Right, first I'm going to comment this out. V. Let's call this the... Now either I'm going to solve my own problem right here, or I'm going to show that Apache thinks something's wrong. And it's because of SSL. Or whether we have more than one user. The mod unique is, as far as I understand it, has something to do with keeping track of multiple users using the web page. Alright, so let's go back and let's do this. Start. It wants to reload, so now the process ID number also reloaded, as you can see there. And it's unable to, if you look up this access scoreboard, you're going to find that it has to do with memory and that Apache is supposedly intelligent and knows how to find the memory that's available in your system and use it. And I did a little more digging, and there's some problems that came up a long time ago. A lot of people have not had a problem with this access scoreboard for years. Maybe in 2003, some people would show up and ask about it. Or there was talk among the Debian developers about it. But, and there was one guy that dug a little bit deeper, and he basically says, well, I had this problem, but I realized that the program was allocating more memory than I had available on the system, blah, blah, and then it, and I did restart, so, so there's some kind of memory issue going on. Don't know what it is. I vaguely remember reading some snippet somewhere about how we've done something different with memory and we don't like the way Linux does it and blah, blah, blah. I don't know if there's anything to do with this, but maybe we might want to rethink that. So that's basically everything I have to show. I'm going to keep building once I get it. In fact, where this was before I had my little minor disaster, which I probably won't be recovered from until the end of tomorrow, was I hadn't finished the database's pass. I've not done a pass-through development, and I still haven't done passes through these. Just with my default settings, again, with some effort to get some things, quote-unquote, ported. But, if you want to call it that, the most dismal category is finance, which I should really be offended at. And I just had built 9 different packages in the shells category. Packages that did build, that they built, therefore they probably would be safe to try in the shells category. Just for more information on that. But I noticed that it was, oh yeah, and then let's get back to Apache, one more thing. The scoreboard, if you look at the Apache documentation, it uses the same terminology that shell error was using when everything went down. mmap or something like that. I think they're the same. They got a mem in it. Something's going on with the memory. By the way, just I have the settings for this. I have how many gigabytes? I have 25 megabytes of RAM in this puppy now. I've got 4 CPUs going here. And 2 gigabytes of RAM. It's been a long time since I've seen all the RAM being used. Anyway, so get back to this. So basically, some of these are just like documentation. Bash completion, MKSs, Mudge, Osh, Puksh, RC. Those three are the ones that are safe. The rest, don't try, because it'll bring you down. So what I'm worried about is if there are programs that are end up trying to call mmap or whatever that other function was, that it can cause some issues. And even compiling could there's something going on with the memory. Don't know what it is, but that's so basically, yeah, and it could cause some problems, especially unattended builds. They'll keep displaying stuff on the screen and at least try to mimic a build, and my God, it did. I mean, it. So, that's it. This is what I have to say, I guess. Till next time.